So we do want every state to cooperate with the ICC so it can do its work. ICC does its work for humanity. It isn't doing it for the sake of being ICC. It's the reason why it is set up to do its work. And yes, the African states can help the court in a lot of ways, as other states will help the court when they cooperate. When we cannot, for instance, we don't have police forces to arrest people whom we seek, we would depend on states to help us do that. When somebody, if a trial is done, if it results in a conviction, we do not have prisons where we can, house convicts. We depend on states to help with that. There are varying ways. I mean, even paying dues, the court is dependent on the budget, on states parties to contribute to make the operation work. Approving those budgets, speaking up during budget time, even politically, giving political will to the need for the court to have resources to do its work. So we will need support of all states to say, give the court the amount of the correct funding it needs to do its job. So again, African states have a voice in that sort of assistance. The current administration has been strongly supportive of the court, insisting that everyone needs to support. The court insisting that no one is above the law. If anybody, head of state or not, who does the kind of things that are prescribed in the Rome Statute, should be held accountable for that. The current government of Nigeria insists on it. President Buhari has said that on a number of occasions. I must say that currently the Rome Statute does not, corruption as a crime is not part of the jurisdiction of the court. But there's nothing that says it shouldn't be so, in future. When President Buhari came to The Hague last year, he mentioned that in his speech, that he looked forward to, a time when ICC would have jurisdiction over the crime of corruption, the kind of corruption that disables societies, that does the same, that can inflict, miseries in the proportion of crimes against humanity upon people. When somebody loots the treasury of that country, when that money could be used to develop healthcare system, for instance, and people die in hospitals because the money hasn't done away with. Or you could build roads and that's not done, and you have carnage on the road. So when you total the number of casualties of that, to begin to see the proportion that corruption can, proportional misery corruption can wreak on a society. And I see no reason why that should not be something to consider for the ICC in future. The ICC is a court of justice, and court of justice means that the judges must answer the question presented to them according to the evidence in the case. Proof beyond reasonable doubt is a standard of proof in criminal cases. Proof beyond reasonable doubt is when the evidence shows, not evidence that shows something, and if you answer the question, say, convict as a judge, you go home and then you're asking yourself, even the thing is still pricking you in your conscience, whether or not the evidence was strong enough because, you're not quite sure. There's enough evidence there, perhaps, but you're not sure that it really gave you that conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. So there have been acquittals at the ICC. It wasn't only African leaders that did not arrest Bashir at the time. I mean, he went to other places as well, and the ICC wanted him arrested, and they didn't. It was an unfortunate development, but we recently rendered part of the argument at the time was that he was protected by the idea of immunity in international law because he was the head of state. Now, that is a complex discussion to have now, but the point of the matter is, in the old time immemorial, a long time ago, in the 16th, 17th, 18th century, international law developed in the manner of saying that between states, they're all equal. Among states, they're all equal. Therefore, no one state has dominion over another, meaning no one state can prosecute another state and bring another state's leader to its court, criminal court. Politics and justice do not mix well. There's trained bedfellows, be it in the national systems or not. Countries, it is for them to realize that the rule of law is for everyone. For it to be done properly, you should not try to politicize the court of law. If we are not vigilant, that would happen at the ICC. But we are vigilant about it, and we are resisting it to every stage. And we are calling upon states to, stay away and let the judges do their work. And that's the work of justice is often inconvenient, but it needs to be that.